In this video, we are going to be talking about the different file types in Tableau when it comes to saving your file. So when it comes time to save your file, Tableau has 4 different file types. They have Tds File Type, Tw File Type, Twbx File Type, and Tde File Type. And let's just go ahead and give you a brief overview of what each of these file types mean. The TDS file type stands for Tableau Data Source, and it contains data changes like groups and calculated fields that has been created in Tableau. It doesn't have information to recreate your visualization, but it has information to connect to the original data source. Then you have TW file type. TW stands for Tableau Workbook File. It contains your worksheets and your dashboards. It stores the information necessary to connect to data source as well as information necessary to rebuild your visualization, but it doesn't include data from the underlying data source. When the workbook is saved in this format, a link is established between this workbook and the original data source. So whenever you open your workbook again, any changes you've made to the underlying data source will be automatically updated in your workbook. The TWBX file type stands for Package Tableau Workbook File. It stores information that allows you to connect to the data source, that allows you to build the visualization, and it stores a copy of the local data source. So be it a server data source or a flat file like Microsoft Excel and CSV, it stores a copy of the local data source. When you save your workbook in this format, it does not create an extract of the data. It can hold both a live connection and an extract of the data itself. The package Tableau Workbook file is best used to save workbook when other people does not have access to the local data used. This eliminates the barrier to data access. So when you're sharing your workbook with somebody who doesn't have access to the data source, it's best to use the package Tableau Workbook file type. And then we have the Tableau Data Extract file type, TDE. And basically TDE is exactly what it sounds like. It keeps a snapshot of your data that Tableau saves locally. So this is helpful when you are connecting to extremely large data sets and you only need some field. You only need a subset of your data set. So by using extracts with only the things that you need, Tableau will depend on the extracted data for all calculations as opposed to depending on the large data set for all calculations. So when you send a query, Tableau will query your extracted data source as opposed to querying the large data source that you have. So that's the TDE file type. So which one do you choose? Well, the way you save your workbook depends on a few things, like the type of data source being used. For example, are you using a flat file like Excel or CSV file? Are you using data that is stored in a server? Does your company or have data security reasons? How is your data set distributed? You also have to take into consideration the performance of your data source. If you have a really large data source, then whenever you run a query, it might take a little bit longer, and Tableau might be slow. But if you have a smaller data source, then your queries will run much faster. So you have to take performance into consideration when choosing how to save your workbook. And I'm going to leave this PowerPoint below so you can read through this again and kind of get a better idea of how should I save my workbook. So when it comes to actually publishing your visualization, you can publish your visualization using Tableau Public, Tableau Server, or Tableau Online. So Tableau Online is a secure Tableau hosted website where you can publish your visualizations, while Tableau Server is a site that you host internally inside your computer or host internally in your company. While Tableau Public is a public forum where you can publish your workbook publicly. Tableau Public is when you have like non-sensitive data that you are okay with making public. Where you publish your views will determine who can view it and whether they can interact with it, whether they can download your visualization or share it, and whether they need a Tableau account to be able to see your visualizations or not. So with Tableau Public, anybody can see your visualization. They don't need a Tableau account to see your visualization. But with Tableau Online or with Tableau Server, the end user needs to have a Tableau account in order to view your visualization. So remember that distinction. Tableau Public is for people that doesn't have access to a Tableau account. Tableau Server or Tableau Online is for people that is for sharing your visualization with people that has a Tableau account. With that being said, let's move on and let me show you how to actually share your visualization, and let's look at some places where you can download things like Tableau Reader. See you on the next video.